Water Constellations. 1. This morning before 5 a.m., I woke up, hips burning, and they asking to be bathed in salt water and float away pain, ancient as wound. Starlit, candlelight, looking at myself, curves of skin breakwater breaks, and I ask the nebula in my bathwater to let me know what I need to heal the things I ain't even know the root of. Root chakra got to do with family and tribe and dispersed and dispelled and diaspora of outburst turned inside out. I anchor hips, ass down into water, warmed, sea salted, rosemary, eucalyptus scented and oiled, turmeric essenced, star dipped. And I ask again and again, what roots am I turning up, turning out in these relic burning hips of mine? 2. Once when my mom was taking a bath, she pulled my sister and me in the tub with her. I was 5 and my sister was 4. She was taking a bath and we wouldn't leave her alone. We never wanted to leave from around her, so she pulled us into the tub with all of our clothes on. I splashing around with my sister and our mom's rare, silly, swimming around her perfect body, the body we was from, living in her laughter. In my next life, I ain't having no kids. I gonna just travel the world and have a bunch of lovers, Mama says in her Trini accent to me and my aunt 31 years later on a Saturday afternoon. She sounds joyful and decided. She says it like she has already made the appointment in her date book. I am sitting on her bed, puffing her trees, incense burning by the bedroom door. Some of my mommy's and auntie's grandkids are in the next room. We are in her first apartment she has ever had by herself. My mom was a mom at 15 and never lived alone. Now she brags about her cream-colored couch. Her space is filled with books about Buddhism, African spirituality, and herbalism. She reads and meditates with every morning around 5. She is 60. I am 36. Suddenly we are woman to woman, me with no kids to her 4 daughters. My Aunt Brenda, laughing at my mom's imaginary harem, chimes in about how instead of kids in her next lifetime, she is going to be a dancer. My mom suggests she should also get a girlfriend. I remind them they are both still alive, beautiful and black, free to whole around and dance as they please. They remind me they Trinidadian girls moved from island to Texas to Minnesota, raised their children together, caught buses against hood tundras in the era of drug wars, tethered by the respectability of motherhood. Our daddies got to play out the wounds of their childhood abandonment in dramatic grown men tantrums of abandoned baby mamas and drug addictions. My aunt, the free spirit of my nostalgia, who I loved to watch drink rum and party and dance to soca, who would go out to the club red and black spandex, flaming fashion fair lips on her dark skin, Gap resplendent and sexy. The one who taught me how to be lush internally tells me it was different for them than it was for me. And suddenly, we are girl to girl. 3. This one, I can't forget. We met in the cafeteria at community college among all the black kids who convened to flirt with each other, gossiped about Black Planet, brought speakers, brought bass, left for the park to puff on communally resourced blunts. I was 19 when we met and she was 22. She had her own place. She had 2 sons and a baby daddy who lurked to undermine her being free of him. These things made her seem grown to me. She was the type to shapeshift, her feminist, marvelous, and for her only. Her hips wider and heavier than all the truths wrapped up into her head wrap. She showed me I wanted to love on a woman my whole life. I tried to disappear not knowing how to hold it. I fell in love and did not know that's what it was. My existence would be quiet prayer to fall into her completely, surrounded in layers, sacred and fleeting. She became calls on phones with coiled cords unraveling down the hallway into my bedroom at my mama's house. We would talk all night and tightly held things, lotus from my chest out my mouth. She was an Aquarian soul that had the capacity to hold me. Water Bearer taught me how to bathe as a grown woman. I would ride for an hour and a half by bus each way, bring her chocolates and treats just to find myself in her clawfoot tub. At night, her small apartment, her small bathroom, a spa, she would make warm waterfalls fill a basin of porcelain, lavender bubbles, Dead Sea salts, rose water, and dried petals, floating. I levitate in her hot spring. My titties and belly button break foam and glisten in candlelight. She let me feel pretty and alluring for myself. Loving her, I was in over my head, learning how to swim, and I wanted to kiss her with all my hate. For her, I put Florida water, lavender oil, rose water, and Epsom salt in our tub in our pink bathroom. Place rose petals in it. I blast a space heater in the bathroom to keep the air warm. I put pots of water to boil on the stove for when the bath cool off. Slow and deep, my beautiful boy, divine hubby from Cameroon, who loved me like I didn't even know I could be loved like, her arms, immersions in ancestral love. I make her a bath and talk to my great-grandmother in Trinidad, who died before I existed, who my mama say lived real close to the water, who used to swim out real far at sunrise, then swim back. She would drink a couple of gulps of salt water at the end of her swim. Drink middle passage, become libation. I hold this in my heart when I am making a bath for my lover on a Sunday. She dips in the sea made for her and she smiles at me. Imagine ancestors laid up in love just like us. The moaning of women in my ancestral bloods, I invite them to live loud in me. I swirl the waters with my hand. I'm sitting dry next to the tub and in love with my lover's skin, grazing her with my fingers.